Media. When it comes to working towards your goals, working towards your new dreams, your big, hairy, audacious goals, it's really, really important that you catch yourself being one and not the other, right? Being more methodical and not being impulsive, because impulsivity can really, it can really slow down your progress.
Hi, my name is Ronnie Cruz. After almost 2 decades as a career network marketer, I realized that despite continual work on my personal and professional development, that I had hit a massive brick wall. So I took a deep and honest look at myself, top to bottom, hoping to find answers, and my search led me to one conclusion. The definitions I held of my business, of my world, of my life were the very things holding me back. If I wanted to change, if I wanted to grow beyond my current circumstances, I had to wipe the slate clean and redefine. This show is dedicated to helping you identify the belief systems, the mindsets, the very definitions that have held you back, and then help you break through those limitations to finally create the life you've been working so hard to achieve. Welcome to the Redefine Podcast.
All right, happy Thursday and happy podcast day to you. Welcome to the show if you're brand new, and of course, if you're an existing listener, welcome back. Thanks for tuning in. Let's just jump right into it. This is another one of those instances where we are recording, editing, and publishing episode on the same day. So I just want to get into the meat and potatoes. Today, I want to talk about how I get so much done, or more accurately, how I get so much stuff accomplished. In the last couple of weeks, as we've helped my mom pack up her house and get her moved up here, I really noticed distinct process or methodology in how I operated, how I was operating through that entire process of helping my mom move, and realizing that process or the methodology, so to speak, of how I operate is pretty much how I operate with everything, right? And so this is going to be a conversation of how to get more done. Hopefully it'll help you, more accomplished. Hopefully this will help you with that. But also I think it is a conversation that will distinguish between the difference of being methodical and impulsive, right? Two, of course, very distinctly different things, almost polar opposites. But when it comes to working towards your goals, working towards your new dreams, your big, hairy, audacious goals, it's really, really important that you catch yourself being one and not the other, right? Being more methodical and not being impulsive, because impulsivity can really, it can really slow down your progress. Now, going back to discussions we've had in the past about, taking risks and going for those big, hairy, audacious dreams. I have the mindset that those are things you should really throw yourself at, right? Throw yourself at the fear, throw yourself at the uncertainty, really jump in head first into the deep waters, of the unknown. It's required, right? It's required for taking on goals and dreams that you've never done before, especially if they're pushing well beyond the boundaries of what you're capable of and what you already have. So from a risk-taking standpoint, risk is a necessity when it comes to achieving your dreams and goals, right? However, one of the things is that you can actually mitigate those risks. And I've also talked about this aspect of breaking down your goals before in the past. But in breaking down your goals from the long-term big vision type dream to your, midterm, right? A couple of years down the road to your shorter term, maybe a couple of months, break those things down in terms of what you have to do in those periods of time to get to that specific mile marker. Now, as you break it down as you drill down from the macro level of the big picture to the micro level of the day-to-day, what ends up happening is you can actually account and plan and be more strategic. The smaller it gets, the smaller unit of time it gets. And especially when you're talking about the day-to-day and the week-to-week, you want to be very, very methodical in how you approach those days, how you approach your activity and your work in those days and in those weeks, so that you can mitigate the big vision risk in terms of creating predictable outcomes, right? And of course, consistency is a big part of that. But the more methodical you are about what you're doing in the day to day, and week to week, you mitigate that risk of that so many people are scared of the unknown, of doing things that they've never done before when it comes to chasing a big dream. Now, the opposite end of it is being impulsive, right? Being impulsive. And this can apply to big dreams as well, or going after new goals. There is a certain newness and excitement when it comes to chasing new things and new ideas. And that, especially coupled with the fact that we generally have shorter and shorter attention spans, the newness of things, the newness of ideas can lead us to being more impulsive than we should be. And the being impulsive, what then ends up happening is you end up being sporadic in your action and your activity. The work that you do will be up and down and can vary from week to week. And of course, we all know if you don't sustain a particular activity long enough, you're never going to see the momentum that you need to see in order to make progress towards your end goal. So be careful about being impulsive, be careful about indulging your impulsive urges, because again, I understand that again, with the attention span and with the newness of certain things, it can be very attractive, but it really is detrimental to the momentum that you create, and it programs you, it unconsciously programs you to not follow through. Because if you're chasing something new all the time, if you're being impulsive about, ooh, this new idea, and let me try this, and ooh, another thing, the follow through ends up not happening, because you're always chasing something else, something new. Follow through, consistency, of course, as I've mentioned plenty of times in this episode, is incredibly important to creating momentum towards in the direction that you want to head to. So that's really the level of being methodical. As we were packing up, I would I often take what looked like breaks, and of course they were breaks, but a lot of times I would just be sitting there, maybe scrolling on my phone, looking like I'm not doing anything. But the reality is that during those breaks, I'm sitting and planning out what my next steps are. Like, I'm planning out what the activity is, and making sure that, again, I'm mitigating the risk, and I'm thinking things through as thoroughly as I possibly can, as opposed to being, again, impulsive with my action. Oh, I'm going to do this right now. Oh, and then this catches my attention. Oh, there's this box that needs to be unpacked and repacked, et cetera, et cetera. I was very methodical in how I was approaching the entire move, and packing and getting rid of this, donating this, recycling this, right? Like, I was really, really methodical about how I attacked that particular goal of getting the house packed up and moved. That I got things done very, very quickly. We got things done, of course. I didn't do it on my own, but we got things done very quickly, in my opinion, and we got a lot accomplished in a short period of time. And so, same thing with your big dreams. Yes, it seems scary, daunting, unknown and uncertain. You have to take that risk, but as you drill down from the macro level of the big dream to your shorter term, and inevitably to the micro of the day to day, you can become really, really methodical. Think through what you're going to do and execute, right? And execute. And before you know it, you're going to be much more further along towards your goal, as opposed to if you were being impulsive with your actions, with your thoughts, your actions, and your execution. So hopefully this helps. Hopefully this helps kind of drill it down. Again, risk is inherent in going after new goals and new dreams, and I think if you drill down from the big picture vision to the micro level of the day-to-day action and activity, the work that you have to do on a day-to-day, you can mitigate a lot of that risk. Excuse me. You can mitigate a lot of that risk, and end up and you do so by being very, very methodical in your day-to-day. Right, in your day-to-day. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and repeating myself now at this point. But thanks for tuning in. Have a great rest of your week and an amazing weekend. We'll catch you on Tuesday with a fresh new one. So until then, be well, be safe. We'll see you in the next episode.